being at a place that is open free to the public and everybody is glad to be here. Everybody kind of feels like they own the place, and they do. And those things have made it an enduring emblem for Los Angeles. It is, in fact, a gift to the city of Los Angeles, to me.
You know, this is also my kids' favorite place in the city of Los Angeles. So to be in Griffith Park, just this amazing view that you have here of not only the nature that we have, but also the entire city. I welcome everybody to come and visit the Griffith Observatory.
It's been a wonderful, wonderful 90th celebration. It's going to last all year long, and the Griffith Observatory will have an amazing array of activities throughout the whole year. So everyone should go on the Griffith Observatory website, check out what's happening that day. There are monthly opportunities to come up at night and view the heavens through telescopes. You can get your eye through the major observatory telescope. It's an amazing opportunity throughout the whole year, not just today.
Happy birthday, dear observatory. Happy birthday to you.
The diversity of faiths and religious beliefs in LA is not just a fact, it's a feature to be celebrated and welcomed in civic life. LA's Civil Rights Department hosted the city's 10th annual Religious Pluralism Day.
We are here in City Hall commemorating the 10 years of the Day of Religious Pluralism to honor, to acknowledge the beautiful tapestry of our faith communities, more so to reaffirm the sacredness that exists in all of humanity, because that's what our city is about.
Pluralism is a recognition that there are different religions. We have to go beyond just a mere recognition that, yes, there are different religions. We have to go towards that genuine feeling of warm-heartedness towards each other, a genuine feeling of community, that we are all seekers of the sacred, manifesting something higher in our lives.
Faith leaders do work together, and there's really the best example of what it means to be building bridges, serving the community at a greater expanse. But to do this today, it just should have flow outward and outward. It's a ripple effect. When you drop the little stone, where those ripples go. So starting here and then out the doors of City Hall into our communities.
City Council declarations, for example, are not just something done in a vacuum and then forgotten about. For 10 years now, we've tried to live this declaration to show the city of Los Angeles we're all different pieces of mosaic, and we put together, pluralistically, we make a beautiful image.
It takes effort to reach across, to try to understand each other more deeply, and to create space for each other, and making sure that we truly are paying attention and listening so that we're lifting each other up.
Unfortunately, there are parts, not just here in the U.S., but different parts of the world where we see religion as a source of violence and sectarianism, when in fact religion is a source of love. And that's why this is really important.
Manhattan Place Elementary School unveiled a new outdoor literacy corner. We know that reading is always a good idea, but just in case the kids don't know that yet, the school drafted a Dodger star to help them catch the reading habit.
Today we are celebrating our partnership with the LA Dodgers and the Will and Kara Smith Foundation. We are unveiling our outdoor literacy corner. This provides for students with multiple opportunities to develop their love for literacy and a love for reading. And it also shows the students that reading is fun, and that reading doesn't only take place inside the classroom, but reading actually can take place outdoors.
Are you guys ready to read a book? Yeah! All right, so we're going to read The Bernstein Bears Go Out for the Tea.
Today is really special because we're partnering with Manhattan Place Elementary, and they're actually the second school this year that we're doing a literacy corner renovation. When we were in the World Series,
we launched our first literacy corner as part of our MLB World Series Legacy Initiative. And we did so in partnership with our catcher, Will Smith, and his wife, Kara, and their foundation, Catching Hope. So all 4 organizations came together and we committed to doing 3 unveilings during the 2025 season. And this is the second of 3.
She called for the ball, had second, and declared him out. He made a big fuss, but she pointed out that those were the rules.
I hope they get to just enjoy this moment. You know, with me and the Dodgers here, it's a fun day. You know, they're all super excited. I love hearing the excitement they have. So hopefully when they, you know, come here each and every day, they're at school in the literacy corner, they'll remember this day and remember, you know, the impacts that we had and how we just wanted them to enjoy reading. And, you know, hopefully this makes the space a little bit more enjoyable for them.
Books are a gateway to knowledge and the world around us, and having this literacy corner outdoor provides our students with an opportunity to continue developing the love of reading and gaining multiple experiences through books. And it's also a great way to let our students know, like, we have people in the community that love and care for your success. And that's why we partner with people like Will Smith and his foundation, just to show our students, like, you matter, we see you, we hear you, and you are important.
Will, go!
LA Memorial Coliseum and SoFi Stadium in Inglewood will serve as the official venues for the opening and closing ceremonies of the 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games. LA Mayor Karen Bass made the announcement, along with Councilmember Curran Price and Olympic and Paralympic athletes. The Coliseum was first host to the Olympics in 1932, again in 1984, and in 2028 it will become the first venue in history to host the Olympic Games for a 3rd time. The stadium in Inglewood will host the Paralympic opening ceremony and will share the Olympic opening ceremony with the LA Coliseum, creating a dual venue celebration. For more information, visit mayor.lacity.gov/press. Angelenos celebrating with metallic balloons should keep them secure and prevent them from floating into power lines, according to the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, LADWP. The utility said that recently metallic balloons hitting equipment had caused 5 outages in 1 week, leaving nearly 3,000 customers without power. California law requires all metallic balloons to be anchored with a weight to prevent them from going into power lines. In addition, the LADWP advises that metallic balloons should never be released outdoors and always be deflated before discarding. Angelenos should report any incidents of metallic balloons and power lines contact by calling 1-800-DIAL-DWP. For more information, visit ladwpnews.com. Mayor Karen Bass and the Economic and Workforce Development Department invite business owners to attend the 2025 Procure LA Summit. The summit will highlight working with the city's Big 3, the LA Department of Water and Power, Los Angeles World Airports, and the Port of Los Angeles. Attendees will gain insight into accessing capital and procurement opportunities for upcoming major events like the World Cup, the Super Bowl, and the 2028 Olympic Games. According to Procure LA, the summit will include networking with over 30 government agencies and prime vendors, training workshops, and on-site support from its team. The 2025 Procure LA Summit, working with the Big 3, takes place on Thursday, May 29th, beginning at 8 a.m. For more information, visit procurela.com.
Whether sworn or civilian, Asian American representation has grown in the ranks of LA's police department. At a recent cultural celebration, the department gathered to celebrate all that makes Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month a special occasion.
I'm here and honored and thrilled again to come back to MC the LAPD AANHPI celebration. As we know, we're in Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Month, and this is just a wonderful event that the LAPD hosts each and every year.
Along with LEAP, that's short for Law Enforcement Association of Asian American Pacific, we have the Korean American Law Enforcement Organization. We're co-hosting this event.
We have brought Filipino Americans, the Chinese American, Korean Americans, Japanese American, Thai. We've also brought in a lot of food because I think that's how you best connect people. So we have Chinese food, Korean food, and some Filipino food as well. So everybody can enjoy a little bit. We did put together about 5 or 6 different performances. K-pop and Chinese music is very popular, so we also have performance by a Chinese group today.
The Asian community, we've grown in population in the city of Los Angeles, so we really wanted to celebrate and highlight all the people, the forefathers before us that brought us here, and we just want to celebrate with the community.
And as you can see, it's a big production, and we are very happy to have the support of the community as well as the employees of LAPD and the city of Los Angeles.
AANHPI month, we talk a lot about amplifying our voices, right? Making sure that our voices are shared, making sure that our culture is represented, not only accurately, but beautifully, like an event like this.
And I want to say, as I look around, how it makes me feel as an Angelino and as an Asian American Angelino to grow up and see so many faces that look like mine now in law enforcement. This LAPD truly represents the city of Los Angeles, and I want to thank you all for being a part of that, and I want to thank you all for celebrating this amazing month with all of us. Thank you, everybody.
Pushing back against all forms of hate was just one aspect of a recent LA civil rights event, rooted in resilience. Community and city leaders gathered to discuss the journey from discrimination to civil rights justice, including how to access resources along the way.
We are here in the historic Little Tokyo, in the heart of downtown Los Angeles, at the Japanese American National Museum, discussing all things about Asian American and Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. The name of the event is Rooted in Resilience. We have a diverse lineup of speakers from the community, from the city of Los Angeles, discussing what makes Asian American communities so unique and why our voices matter.
It's important for LA Civil Rights to step up and to say, we see you. And when we have an opportunity to celebrate a community, we are all in. And for the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander community, we are here. We celebrate you. We lift you.
LA City has a rare tool that only a handful of cities across the country really have. We're able to access civil rights justice at a local level. I hope we really start to understand how discrimination affects us. And I think that's why it's important that we go out and talk to folks in the community. And there's an opportunity today and for our city department to get real, tangible results for communities.
One of the topics of tonight's discussion is how our Asian American community partners and stands in solidarity with other diverse communities, whether during COVID, when there were attacks against our community, especially our seniors and women, but also we stand in solidarity with the Jewish American, the African American, all communities where we push back against all forms of hate.
We love and celebrate the beautiful mosaic of Los Angeles, and we're here to have conversation with you about how we can build a Los Angeles for all.
I think the most important thing right now for people to learn about the LA Civil Rights Commission is that we are able to take complaints online, telephone, in person, and the wonderful thing about our online resource is that it is available in over 80 languages, and if you call by telephone and we have someone answering who does not speak your language, we will find someone so that you can get the language access that you need.
We need to share these resources. If people don't know these resources exist, they won't access them.
The city of LA designated historic Filipino town in 2002, and 22 years later, Barrio Hi-Fi came on the scene. This community block party brings the crowds out for food vendors, music performances, and family fun in the heart of historic Filipino town.
Today we are here in historic Filipino town celebrating Barrio Hi-Fi, which is an incredible celebration of different nonprofits, foods, and community leaders coming together to celebrate the Philippine culture. As we know, Filipinos outside of the Philippines call Los Angeles their home at very large numbers. And so especially in District 13, we want to uplift them, celebrate them, and be with them side by side in anything they do, including this amazing festival. So we're going to have a great time, eat some food, and maybe sing some karaoke.
Barrio Hi-Fi is a grassroots community-led festival made by Filipino Americans. This is our second annual festival. We expanded it 2 extra big blocks. So we have 20 food vendors this year. Compared to last year, we had 10. So every year, I feel like it's expanding, it's growing.
This festival is great. I mean, there's a lot of vendors. The vibes are great. Being Filipino, there's a great sense of community here. Makes me proud to be a Filipino.
I grew up in the Philippines, and so I've missed my country very much, and it feels like home. Being here feels like home. It's the closest to home that I've felt.
You know, the Filipino community is so welcoming and filled with fun and love, and putting together an event like this with so many people and so many amazing Filipino businesses is really special to us, and we feel really, you know, honored and grateful to be able to host something like this in historic Filipino town.
Come and visit Barrio Hi-Fi. You can experience great food, experience merch, everything that you miss about Philippines, you can experience here.
This festival is completely different because we highlight Filipino American creatives, and we're just trying to showcase and bring a lot of light and a lot of energy to that, because usually Filipinos are always in the backgrounds of every moment. So Los Angeles, California is our dear home now, and we want to bring a lot of traffic to the historic Filipino town. We want to bring awareness to the Filipino American culture, and you know, it's welcome to everybody. It's not just Filipinos. We want to welcome all of our POC members. Everyone's welcome. Just come with a good vibe.
We go from cultural celebrations past to an upcoming one. The 3rd annual June Jubilee at Downtown Central Library will be a community celebration of Black excellence. And we got a sneak preview of all that's coming up.
June Jubilee is an annual celebration of Black excellence here at the library. We offer a wide range of activities and entertainment. It is family friendly, so there will be plenty of workshops for the children. There will be bracelet making, crown making, just a lot of fun arts and craft that will kind of capture their interest. We will have cultural entertainment and things that are fundamental in the Black community. That includes urban line dancing, which is kind of a staple in the Black community. There will be double dutching, which I'm sorry, my fellow community, I don't know how to. There will be cooking classes and classes that are just informative about food. We will have a choir. There will also be hip hop and R&B bingo, which I'm very excited about this year. It will include a lot of other genres like funk and disco. We will have a libation and drum circle, which is very wonderful because you'll be able to get your blessing. So one of the wonderful things about this year's libation and drum ceremony is we will have a poem by Laureate Lynn Thompson that she made specifically for this year's June Jubilee. It is important that the library puts on events like this that celebrate different ethnicities because, one, we are the Central Library. We are a hub of various ethnicities. We want everyone to feel included. We want everyone to feel welcomed. That is one of our big mottos coming into the library, that everyone is welcome. So it's very important that, especially in the city of Los Angeles, that everyone is able to come in and not feel left out and not feel unseen. This festival, yes, celebrates the Black community, but in part of celebrating the Black community, we are so welcoming to everyone. We want everyone to learn about us. We want everyone to see how we celebrate, to see how we love, to see how we dance and sing. So please don't be hesitant about coming out. So the June Jubilee Festival will be happening here at Central Library in Los Angeles on 5th and Flower. It will happen June 14th, which is a Saturday at 9:30. It is free. It is completely free. You can find additional information on our lapl.org/June Jubilee website, or you can visit any of our social media platforms.
In this week's feature story, the city of Los Angeles is the only city in the U.S., so far, to celebrate Hapa Day. It's a day that affirms life's rich tapestry and uplifts those who don't fit neatly into one particular box.
I'm so honored to recognize once again Hapa Day in the city of Los Angeles.
This is the third annual Hapa Day. It's a proclamation celebrating people of mixed heritage, particularly mixed Asian heritage.
Hapa is a Hawaiian word for part. That sentiment, the idea of being part something and part something else, has spread beyond the islands of Hawaii. This term really resonates with so many of us.
Today's presentation is so incredibly meaningful because it uplifts those who don't really fit neatly into one box. It affirms that there is beauty in complexity and strength in multiplicity.
People came from many different walks of life, and Hapa, we stand for unity and embracing everyone.
It's a complicated time in America to be a person of mixed race heritage. This is a sign that we reject that premise, that diversity is something to be feared. Diversity is American.
Congratulations to today's honoree, DJ Hapa.
I stand on the shoulders of those who have come before me, especially the previous generations who fought to pioneer Hapa Day in Los Angeles. And thank you to the city of LA for being at the forefront of honoring our Hapa heritage. Can we make some noise for the city of LA?
This is the first and only city right now that recognizes Hapa Day.
This is designed to be inclusive. The DJ rig is designed to be inclusive. We've got a source on side A and a source on side B. So we could have a Kendrick Lamar song on side A, and we could have an Earth, Wind, and Fire song on side B, right? We can make that happen through this.
The first thing and the second thing are beautiful on their own, but also beautiful is the third thing that can come from the mixture of both of those.
DJ Hapa, we have a City of Los Angeles recognition for you.
Hapa told me about this event. There was no way in HELL that I was going to miss this.
Here we go. Hey! All right, DJ Raman.
I just think that my parents' generation, but not my parents, oh no, you have to keep it pure. If you are Irish, you marry Irish. If you're whatever, you don't leave your tribe. But excuse me, we are in America. I think people came here for a reason. They didn't want to be kept in whatever box they were born into.
It wasn't until 1967 the Supreme Court had a case, I think it was Loving versus Virginia, and that is what changed all of that from a legal perspective when it came to the states of allowing interracial marriage. And that's so crazy.
The world and the powers that be tell two sets of people you shouldn't be able to get together. We're going to make laws so you can't get together. Not only do you get together, you make up a tribe and create a whole movement behind it. And so that's the spirit of resistance that is so Los Angeles and so Hapa. So thank you for that, and a big round of applause to everybody who's a part of the Hapa movement.
Thank you.
In this week's Things to Do, sign up to help shine up parts of LA. We go to a one-stop shop for youth resources and enjoy a zero-waste open house at LA Sanitation. All this up next on Things to Do.
In honor of Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, Mayor Karen Bass and city leaders invite you to Shine LA, AAPI Day of Service, taking place on Saturday, May 31st. Angelinos from across the city will engage in community service activities with family, friends, and neighbors. Volunteers will pick up trash, plant trees, remove graffiti, and more. Join city leaders and departments to beautify neighborhoods from San Pedro to the San Fernando Valley. Head to the website for a full list of locations for Shine LA, AAPI Day of Service on Saturday, May 31st, beginning at 9 a.m. To find out more, visit mayor.lacity.gov/ShineLA. On Saturday, May 31st, LA City's Youth Development Department hosts its Youth Expo. Now in its third year, the Expo is a one-stop shop resource fair for youth ages 14 to 26 and their families. The event will feature on-site job hiring, career and workforce development workshops, mental health services, as well as community engagement and leadership opportunities. Enjoy free lunch, a workplace fashion show, an arts and culture activity zone, and giveaways. Join the City of LA's Youth Development Department and over 90 exhibitors at Los Angeles Trade Tech College. Youth Expo 2025 takes place on Saturday, May 31st from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. For more information, visit ydd.lacity.gov. Get ready for LA City Sanitation and Environment Open House Series of 2025. On Saturday, May 31st, head to the North Central District Yard to experience a zero-waste event like no other. This open house showcases LA Sanitation's curbside collection and recycling programs. Learn more about how to reduce waste, and of course, you get to check out the sanitation trucks. They'll be on display, and you can check out how they operate. Toot your own horn about recycling at LA San Open House, happening on Saturday, May 31st, beginning at 10 a.m. For more information, visit sanitation.lacity.gov. And that's a look at some things to do.
And that's all for this week. I'm Susan Huckle, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thank you so much for joining us. Remember that you can watch us online anytime at lacityview.org. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.
What does it take to move a mountain that no one wants to climb? When they tell you there's no answer, how do you change the heart and mind? Can you face the road to freedom when the past is in your way? In the darkness of the night, the future may be hard to find, but I believe that there's a day. All it takes is one good day. All we need is one good day. And I will find one good day. 'Cause all it takes is one
Good morning and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of your Los Angeles City Council. Today is the 27th day of May in the year 2025. Public comment for this morning's meeting will be taken in person in this council chamber. Let's begin our proceedings by calling the roll. Mr. Clerk.
Yes, Mr. President. Blumenfield, Harris-Dawson, Hernandez, Hutt, Jurado, Lee, McOsker, Nazarian, Padilla, Park, Price, Rame, Rodriguez, Soto Martinez, Yaroslavsky. 11 members present in quorum, Mr. President.
All right, first order of business.
Approval of the minutes of May 23rd, 2025.
Councilmember Padilla moves. Councilmember Hernandez seconds. What's next?
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Councilmember Lee moves. Councilmember Soto Martinez seconds. What's next?
Mr. President, today is Tuesday and it's time for the flag salute.
All right. I'll ask everybody in the chambers to rise and join our Council President Pro Tem, Mr. Blumenfield, in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Sure. If everyone could face the flag, put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Mr. Clerk, let's run through our agenda.
Yes, Mr. President. Items 1 and 2 are items noticed for public hearing. Items 3 through 21 are items for which public hearings have been held. Please note a technical correction for item 15, which is the Government Operations Committee report. The Budget and Finance Committee waived consideration of the matter. For item 17, an additional community impact statement has been submitted by the Harbor Gateway North Neighborhood Council in support of the matter. Items 22 through 33 are items for which public hearings have not been held. Please note that no action is required for item 33, inasmuch as a budget resolution for fiscal year 2025-26 has not been submitted at this time. 10 votes are required for consideration.
All right, without objection, those items are now before us. Now is the time for specials. Members on my left. Looking to my left, I don't see any specials there. I see Councilmember Padilla on the right.
Yes, I'd like to call item 8 special for recusal.
Okay, item 8. Councilmember Padilla. Oh, sorry, Councilmember Price. Woo! Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Thank you, Council President. Out of an abundance of caution, I'm recusing myself from items 1, 12, and 18 because my wife's employer has worked with an organization on this item in the past, and I'm recusing myself from item 3 because I am a landlord. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Lee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item number 33 for a separate vote.
All right.
Sir, would that be item 33, sir?
Yes.
There is no action required, sir. Thank you.
Councilmember Jurado.
Good morning, Council President. I'd like to call item 26 for a separate vote.
26?
Yes,
All
thank
right.
you.
Mr. Blumenfield.
Item 22, I have an amendment. It's just a reporting amendment, but it should be circulating.
All right, 22 for an amendment. That is been seconded and is in circulation. Any other specials? There is a request to refer item number 14 to the Plum Committee. Without objection. All right. Where does that leave us, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. President, the council may now vote on items 4 through 7, 9 through 11, 13, 15 through 17, 19 through 21.
All right, before we hear those items, Mr. Clerk, if we can recalibrate, there's a request from Council District 1-5 to hold 2 items, items 4 and items 9, for amendments, which are being seconded and will be in circulation. So one more time, given that, what items are available for the council to vote on at this time?
Yes, Mr. President. Those will be items 5, 6, and 7, 10, 11, 13, 15, 16, and 17, and 19 through 21.
All right, let's open the roll on those items, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
All right, what's next?
Mr. President, there's a request to send item 19 forthwith.
Without objection?
The council may now consider item 8, called special by Councilmember Padilla for recusal.
All right, give Councilmember Padilla a moment to recuse. Yes, beforehand would be better. Thank you, Mr. City Attorney.
I will be recusing myself because of the proximity to the home from which I grew up in.
Okay. All right, Councilmember Padilla is off the board and out of the room. Let's open the roll on item number 8. Let's close the roll, tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
All right, what's next?
Mr. President, the council may now consider items 3, 12, and 18, called special by Councilmember Price for recusal.
All right, give Mr. Price a moment to leave the room and take off the board. You can tag Councilmember Padilla back in, so we keep 10 people. All right, let's open the roll on those items, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
All right, what's next?
Mr. President, the council may now proceed to public comment, sir.
All right, Mr. Clerk, Mr. City Attorney, we'll prepare for public comment.
Yes, and for members of the public, or really representatives for the unions who are here for item number 27, before we go into the instructions for public comment, just as an announcement, if you are here to present as a part of item number 27, that will take place after public comment. So you're more than welcome to still provide public comment in your individual capacity, but as far as any presentation that you're making as the appointed representative of your represented unit, that would be after public comment for item number 27. And with that, I will proceed with reading the instructions for public comment. To people providing public comment, when it's your turn to speak, please state which of the agenda items you'd like to speak to. You will have 1 minute per item, up to 3 minutes total for the items open for public comment. Members of the public may also, when speaking on the agenda items, you must be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can. If you are not on topic, or if we cannot tell whether you are on topic, you will get one brief warning from me or the council president. At that point, you need to get immediately and clearly on topic. If you do not do so, or if you again stray off topic, you will forfeit the rest of your speaking time, and we will move on to the next speaker. Members of the public may also speak for up to 1 minute for general public comment. During general public comment, members of the public may speak to any of the items or anything else in the city's subject matter jurisdiction. I have a couple more announcements. If I could have the interpreters make this first one aloud to the room, please. If you require a Spanish language interpreter, please make sure to pause every few sentences so the interpreters can interpret.
Si requieren traducción en español, por favor pausen después de cada frase para darle al intérprete la oportunidad de traducir.
Don't worry, we will hold your time while the interpreters are interpreting, so you will get the same amount of time as everyone else. Thank you.
Y no se preocupen, les pausaremos el tiempo mientras el intérprete está hablando, entonces recibirán la misma cantidad de tiempo que las otras personas. Gracias.
And the final announcement is, so we take public comment or the order of the speakers at random. So I would ask that you please wait until you hear your name called by the staff before lining up. After you hear your name called, feel free to line up in any order on your left-hand side of the council chambers. Thank you.
Okay. I will now call names to come and speak. Figueroa, Amy Gordon, Candido, Harriet Elliott,
Good morning, Speaker. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
Start with 23. Item 23, it is very important. is because 乌云在我们心里刻下一块阴影。我聆听沉寂已久的心情，清晰透明，就像美丽的风景，总在回忆里才看得清。被伤透的心能不能够继续爱我？我用力牵起没温度的双手，过往温柔已经被时间上锁，只剩挥散不去的难过。Item number 24 is very important. 在山腰间飘逸的红雨，随着北风凋零，我轻轻摇曳风铃，想唤醒被遗弃的爱情。雪花已铺满了地，生怕窗外枫叶积淀成冰，缓缓飘落的枫叶像思念，我点燃烛火，温暖碎末的秋天。极光掠过天边，北风掠过想你的容颜，我把爱烧成了落叶，却换不回熟悉的那张脸。Item number 25 is very important because it's I want an extra item number 25, no spicy. 缓缓飘落的枫叶像思念，为何赶会要赶在冬天来之前？爱你穿越时间，两行来自秋末的眼泪，让爱渗透了地面。我要的只是你在我身边，缓缓飘落的枫叶像碎念，我点燃烛火，温暖碎末的秋天。极光掠过天边，北风掠过想你的容颜，我把爱烧成了落叶，却换不回熟悉的那张脸。For general public comment is that I am aware our city is currently in a budget deficit, so I'm here to have some several suggestions for our council president. Council president, I understand that you are a very proud member of Black Lives Matter, part of Jason Reedy, and many of those people, they create their OnlyFans page, and then after they have their OnlyFans page, they earn millions of billions of dollars every single year. So, Council President Harris-Dawson, if you and the Council Member Hernandez, if you consider work together, create a monthly OnlyFans subscription, and you can create a Pornhub account, and I'm pretty sure that using your 24-inch tool, you can earn millions of billions of money, and you can use that millions of money of OnlyFans can solve the city budget problem. So I support our Council President OnlyFans.
Speaker, your time has expired, and before the next speaker begins, I'd just like to remind the last speaker that if you would like an interpreter, please feel free to let the clerk's office know, and we will do our best to set that up. Good morning. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
Welcome back, motherfuckers. I'm here to introduce housing and community development programs so you dumb motherfuckers can continue to do the business of the people for the people on behalf of your dumbass mayor, your pro-dumbass Negro Sambo, Uncle Tom, regarding the approval that the mayor subjected us with Bloomfield and Miss Park Beach for the Department of 2025 recovery. What fucking recovery? You let those fucking kids destroy our community this weekend. What fucking community interest of a grant do we have there, you jackass, Jonathan? For the record, look at this other issue with Bloomfield and Padilla. Goddamn behavioral health. Well, some people call me fucking crazy, but Smoking Scan, and I'll say it again, Smoking Scan for the record calls it intelligence, because my genius ass talks about the facts of what's happening in this fucked up city by the fucked up DA and this fucked up council that has put us in a deficit. So if you don't understand that, jackass, get him back of the mule and have it kick you in the ass off, because you're too fucking stupid to understand that I'm an American. So instruct GSD with the asshole assistance of a city attorney Dick to negotiate a purchase sale agreement for fucking Council District 3. Why? You don't know how to budget. You do not know how to save a fucking dime to budget. Where is the money going? Where? Hey, jackass, Jonathan, I'm on item 29, fool. Are you following along? Good. Because now I'm going to the next item in my 40 seconds. Item 22, homelessness. Judge O'Carter, Trump, Doge, demand answers from Los Angeles. Where's the fucking $24 million that you stole for homelessness? Judge Carter, David Carter, any Carter. Once again, the county of Los Angeles is in cahoots of ripping us all off, and all you jackass taxpayers, all you moron idiots, stupid, that have a job, have to provide for this issue here. So on behalf of the Lebanese Attorney General, for the record, fuck you, Los Angeles, and fuck you, LA County.
General public comment.
Brandon versus Ohio. How dare you, 395, 444, 1969, dirty niggers. How dare you vandalize our community on Saturday while the mayor was asleep? Where's the mayor? Where's the fucking mayor? And LAPD, they canceled today. Why? Because they don't want to address the real fucking issue, Smoking Scan. Yeah, Smoking Scan, they don't address the real fucking issues. Only you and all your writers, hoorah, because we got the answers. It's called more free speech, more criticism, and more critically understood fucking words like this motherfucker here telling you in the great name of Bill Asaley, up your ass, city attorney, because we're going to investigate you for fraud, waste, and abuse. 42 U.S.C. 1983, politely, fuck.
I'd like
And
to call
as-
up more names.
As we're waiting for the next speaker to come up, a couple announcements, and I apologize if I did not do this earlier. The items that are open for public comment on the agenda are items 1 and 2, and items 22 through 33. So again, the items that are open for public comment on the agenda are items 1 and 2, and 22 through 33. Also, normally I make this announcement ahead of time. Of course, Mr. Herman did not, no surprises today. Ladies and gentlemen and members of the public, the Brown Act does not require you to listen to the public comment of other commenters. So if you would like, and you hear things that are wildly inappropriate, such as what we just heard from the previous speaker, you are more than welcome. Mr. Herman, this is your first and only warning. Do not disrupt this meeting while I am trying to give an announcement to the general public. If you do so again, you'll be subject to removal pursuant to Rule 7 and Rule 12. So, if you hear anything that is wildly offensive, you are more than welcome to step out. If you'd like, you can pop in your headphones, and as we've said before, you can also stick your fingers in your ears. We appreciate your patience. The fastest way to get through this is to just let them use their time. Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
One, and then general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
wondering what it is about 4115 that was in the agenda when I came last Tuesday, and if it is true that they are saying that the two little areas of 4115 are for homelessness, I'm hoping. By the way, I have kept up with the budget because I listened to Katie Yaroslavsky on Larry Mantle. I also read Soto Martinez talking about why we're ahead. We don't have the loss that we thought we had. So I appreciate those times to inform us. I'm going on to public comment. Hello? I'm going on to public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Okay. Ron Johnson, is saying the same thing as I have been saying, that people have been killed from directed energy. By the way, the powers that be say there's no such thing as directed energy. Ron Johnson is saying it overtly. I've been a little timid about it. Ron Johnson is not a nutcase. I read 2 of his books, one of them called Guantanamo, The Men Who Stare at Goats. It was an excellent book. I'm a very left-wing Democrat. If I loved his books, something's wrong. This guy appeals to Democrats. I don't know why. I would like people, to ask your council member to sponsor Ron Johnson. I'll help. And just call him and let him come up here. He's a wonderful man. And he has another book that I loved also about people that don't care. Yeah, he's a really good guy.
Next speaker.
I'd like to call up more names. Jason Reedy, Red Hunt, Jamie Patrickup, Ken Samboze, Robert G.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Good morning. Let me have all items for general and then general public comment as well.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
So starting on item number 2, we have a motion talking about bonds. And what we failed to see on this motion, I talked about it roughly 2 weeks ago, is the lack of disclosure on how it will be paid out. Now, that is a major issue because the city is well known for fraudulent money schemes through Weezar, through the program that Karen Bass has with her Inside Safe. How is it going to be paid? Is it going to be paid to the personal PayPal of Hugo Soto Martinez? Is it going to go to the Cash App of Karen Bass? Is it going to go maybe to the Venmo of Bass's family friends? We don't know. The reason we don't know that is because it's not listed on the motion like it's supposed to be. After all, this is, of course, talking about government bonds. And what are you supposed to do with government bonds? I'll give you a quick refresher. You're supposed to disclose publicly the method of payment. Again, how is that method of payment going to come forward? Is it a personal PayPal account? It might as well be at this point because it's exactly why you have the DOJ investigating all the fraudulent schemes involving homelessness initiatives where you're laundering money through nonprofit programs, making it seem like you're executing legitimate services, but you're not. And we all know it's a scam. Few of you ever speak out about it. And in fact, even worse, many of you, including commissioners, actively support the Inside Safe program, which to this day still lacks any sort of accountability and auditing by the controller. Your own mayor is actively refuting auditing of the Inside Safe program. What the ever-loving fuck is that? How is it that your own mayor is actively trying to go against independent auditing by the fucking city's own controller? What kind of fraudulent criminal shit is that? That's basic accounting principles. Your fucking controller should be able to audit the programs the city's spending money on. What the loving fuck is that? Moving on to item number 3, we have a housing motion. Why is that important? Yet again, where the fuck is the money going for all these housing motions? Is it really going to roach motels or is it actually helping eliminate poverty? How do we know for sure that these people are actually getting permanent housing like is being claimed, yet we know for a fact through some of the auditing that Controller Mejia has done, it's barely maybe 200 people over the last how many years that's gotten any sort of permanent housing housing, yet $500 million fucking dollars have been expended. That is fraud. All that money going to permanently house barely 200 people. How the fuck is that now fraud? How the fuck is it that you continue to not publicly disclose where the money is going to, how it's being paid out? For all we know, we the people, it's going to personal PayPal accounts, personal Cash App accounts, personal Venmo accounts. It's only a matter of time till the DOJ knocks on the door. And with that, we move on to general public comment. I have in my hand, and I keep saying this over and over, I am a Heidi Feldstein Soto super fan. I absolutely love and support Heidi Feldstein Soto, particularly when she gets sanctions by the fucking court for $250,000 for vexatious litigation. She issued 480 bullshit subpoenas. The court said, fuck that, you're harassing your ex-husband. $250,000 sanctions for vexatious and malicious litigation. She failed to prosecute me, failed to put me in jail. First activist to beat Heidi Feldstein Soto. No fines, no convictions, no nothing. And what does Heidi do? She continues to go after other activists. This is what Heidi does. I have the 1,200-page declaration Citibank fucking wrote, declaring that they will never do business with Heidi Feldstein Soto because of her corrupt and malicious ways. What city attorney in the history of America is permanently banned from all Citibank locations on planet fucking Earth? Not even just LA, but on planet Earth. What the fuck?
Speaker, your time has expired. Next speaker.
I'd like to call up more names. Zuma Dog, Thomas Jefferson, Pat Gillespie, Benjamin Franklin, Patricia McAllister, Stacy Segarra.
I signed up as Robert G. I will speak to all items and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
All right, item 22 is the mayor's emergency declaration related to homelessness, the Inside Starving program, where the mayor does these massive sweeps and then takes about 3 or 4 unhoused people, puts them up in a cheap motel on the other side of the city with no blankets, food, or services. That's the Inside Starving program, and it's people are not getting housed. They're not even getting into hotel rooms or anything like that. So you should be looking into that and how this thing is going. And of course, unhoused people need housing and services, not sweeps and more criminalization. Speaking of which, we have item 26, which is a motion from our glorious budget chair, Katie Yaroslavsky, for another several 4118 zones in her district. So 4118 is harm to unhoused people. It does not get them housing. It does not get them services. It just sends them a few blocks down the street, usually with all their shelter and supplies dumped and taken away forever. And they don't get any housing or services. And if they don't just move, or if they're not following directions correctly or whatever, then they get arrested. So that's 4118. It's not housing, it's not services, nothing like that. So we have item 27, which is a public hearing related to vacancies prior to the adoption of the 2025-26 budget. So were you supposed to have this hearing before you voted on the budget at all? That's a good question. So did you do this whole process incorrectly? And you do need to have a public hearing and everything. That you're not recruiting and retaining employees. You're laying off hundreds of city employees to give more money to the LAPD. I'll get to the budget in a little while. I think that's it for general comment, but not to general comment yet. So we have item 31, which is related to Represent LA program, which not sure if you may have been cutting the funding for that to some degree, although I think you did keep most of it at least. So yeah, but it's good to have lawyers, attorneys for people being targeted for deportation or really being sent to CCOD or other torture camps because Trump just doesn't like them or whatever. And Trump is trying to harm immigrants in the immigrant community. Not that any of you are paying attention. Let's go on to general public comment for
Okay, so you have 1 minute.
none of you who are paying attention. Can any of you even hear me over all your staffers who are very loudly talking in the rotunda? That's actually a really good question. There's so much noise, so much chaos. Could any of you even hear this, even if you wanted to?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm speaking to general comment. So we have the budget, which you did in the most undemocratic, way possible, preventing dozens of people from providing public input so that you could go to lunch. So you have that, and I guess what you passed is better than what was originally proposed, but it's still a terrible budget. It's still absolutely shameful that the progressives on this council thought it would be okay to vote for more LAPD funding than last year and hundreds of city employee layoffs to pay for it. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with this.
I'd like to call up more names. Charles Leon, Carlos Herrera, Bill Esse, Carolina Magus, Donald Harlan.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Item 22, 28 in public comment.
Sorry, the mic cut out. You said 22 and 28 in public comment?
Yes, and public comment.
So you have 2 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
Okay, number 22, you want to adopt a local emergency regarding homelessness. We don't know how much money are we talking about, and we need to have audits. Okay, I know you're against audits, but every time I see all of this money being allocated here and there, we never know if it got there. So hopefully DOJ will be coming in here and we're doing some audit here. We need to especially make sure that my people, black people on Skid Row, about 500,000, about 30, 35 blocks of homeless black people, and I expect the black people on this city council to be helping their own people instead of talking about people of color. Okay, all my people are down Skid Row. When I grew up, we didn't have any homeless black people in our community. Here at Skid Row, it's just you got the drug dealers down there, and I believe some of you getting the cut from the drug dealers. It's a reason why you got my people on Skid Row. Now, the homeless count, I got a flyer, this last homeless count, and they said they were going to take the count of Skid Row in 1 day. I got proof. 1 day they were going to count Skid Row. So this homeless count, it's a scam. The numbers are not right. You cannot count Skid Row, 500,000 people in 1 day. And I've got the flyer. Okay? So let me tell you something. The ones who are taking this money under the table and doing all kinds of things to get money, you giving blood money to your children and your grandchildren and your descendants. Believe me, you're going to leave this earth and they're going to be drug addicts, prostitutes, and everything else in prison. That's blood money. Okay, I just want to let you know that. All the money you're getting, and you saw in DOJ and all of this, and in Washington, what they did, that's blood money. Okay, number 28 here. You want a recovery planning grant. Recovery who? Who are you recovering? If you had a recovery grant, my people wouldn't be on Skid Row. For many years, I've been coming in here 10 years or more, okay? Yes, I'm a regular. I've been here before lots of times. They haven't done anything. If anything, you got more black people coming into Skid Row. You're giving these illegal aliens the housing that my people are supposed to have. We're descendants of slaves, okay? This is our land. And as far as immigrants, all of you are immigrants except my people. So we're going to have to do something. And I get very upset when I see, we call them Dr. King, Negroes in charge, not doing anything for their own people. And you think these white folks like you. They don't like you. You're going to go down just like the rest of them when they get through using you. I want you to do something for your people. Now, my public comment. I'm really here to talk about, in addition to the audit. Karen Bass didn't want Mejia to do the audit. That man is a certified public accountant. He has a license. He's a CPA. They call them controllers. They have different names for them. He can audit this city. That money belongs to us. Karen Bass don't own this money. You don't want an audit because you're stealing. You've been stealing. I was going to the housing units. I would go to the committee meetings and I get the address of every area you say you're going to build housing. And I only saw housing built in one area. One area. And what area was that? Marquise. I'm not giving you any credits, but he's the only one where I saw some affordable housing being built. The rest of the areas, they weren't being built. That money is going in your pocket. So I know this scam about you going to build affordable housing. I have proof that it's nothing but a scam. Nothing but a scam. But guess what? You're going to pay for it every day. You and your relatives.
I'd like to call out more names. Shaniqua, Cassie Ventura, Nicholas Broco, Lionel Maris, Karen Bonito.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Item number 3 and public opinion.
Okay, so item number 3 is not open for public comment, but you can
Public
speak
comment.
to it during general. So you have 1 minute for general public comment.
Okay. First of all, you guys are all doing a great job. I appreciate all of you. I love Los Angeles, and I think we should go back to the #1 city in the world. So, good evening, everybody. My name is Nick Bracco, and I want to speak about something simple but vital, attention to detail in Venice. From clear street signs to repainted red curbs and well-maintained parking meters. These aren't just cosmetic touches. They're the foundation we build on and walk on every day. They shape how people experience the city and how they treat it. Recently, I watched a taxpayer-funded crew repaint parking meters. They left black paint splattered all across the sidewalk, painted only 2 out of the 4 meters, and barely covered 70% of each of them, leaving them discolored and unfinished. Just complete carelessness. Respect starts at the street level. If we want to respect the city, we need to create something that's respectable. This isn't just about meters or paint. This is about the legacy of Venice, the spirit that Abbott Kinney sparked, and the dream culture, creativity, and care.
Good morning, City Council. Lionel
Good morning.
Morris. General public comment and agenda item 27, please.
Okay, so you
First,
have 1
general
minute for the
comments.
item and 1 minute for general. I assume you're going to, please start with
Okay.
the item. Go ahead.
Beginning with general comment first. My name is Lionel Morris, a resident of Council District 6, Meta Padillas District. I am a budget advocate with the Neighborhood Council Budget Advocate and a Community Advocate, speaking as an individual. I would like to thank the Budget and Finance Committee for being creative and reducing the number of layoffs and for saving as many non-sworn civilian jobs as possible to preserve city services at a challenging time in our city budget process. I would also like to extend an invitation. Please join the Budget Advocate at City Hall for Neighborhood Council Budget Day, Saturday, June 21st, 2025. It is open to the public. Please visit budgetadvocates.org to learn more. Please advertise it on your newsletter and your website, please. I still have hope that the City Council and the Mayor Office can continue to work directly with community advocates to bring about meaningful change to our city, because we depend on you. They depend on us to provide services. For agenda item 27, please, Mr. City Attorney. I urge the LA City Council to preserve city jobs, including vacancies. Many city departments, non-sworn city departments, are understaffed and are in need of more employees and resources to continue to provide city services for all Angelenos, myself included. I urge the City Council to keep vacant positions open until they are filled, particularly non-sworn civilian positions, because we are just as important as public safety personnel. Non-sworn civilian positions do provide critical services. Thank you. Please do the right thing. I yield the balance of my time.
Good morning. Which items would you like
Good
to
morning.
speak to?
General,
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
I'm here in front of City Council to seek justice for elephants Billy and Tina, to seek justice for the public, and I'm here to seek justice for this City Council and its members, because clearly, Zoo Director Verrett has clearly disrespected all of us. I'm appalled at the actions of the Zoo Director Verrett for sneaking Billy and Tina out of the zoo and transporting them to Tulsa. When she went silent, that was worse. She went into hiding. What does that mean? Clearly, Ms. Barrett wasn't interested in an open discussion in City Council for sending Billy and Tina to a sanctuary. Tina and Billy both suffer with physical ailments, and they both need to go to a sanctuary. All zoos of integrity are sending their elephants to sanctuary, and especially older elephants. It's clear to many that viewing, oh, I need more.
So we have to move on to the next
I
speaker.
know.
I understand that the time goes by quickly. For everyone, if you would like to provide additional comments, you can do so in writing at lacouncilcomment.com. We're not trying to penalize anybody, but we do have to provide the same amount of time for everyone
Maybe
else.
I'll come up tomorrow.
Mr. President, there are no more people to speak.
All right, thank you to everybody who came to share with us in public comment. Mr. Clerk, what items are before us?
Mr. President, the council may now vote on items 2, 23, 24, 25, 27 through 32.
All right, those items are now before us. Let's open the roll, close the roll. Yes.
Mr. For clarifications, those are items 2, 23, 24, 25, 28 through 32.
Got it. All right, let's open the roll on those items, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
The council may now consider item 26, called special by Councilmember Jurado, for a separate vote.
All right, let's open the roll on item 26, call special by Councilmember Jurado. Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
10 ayes, 4 noes.
All right, what's next?
The council may now consider item 22, called special by Councilmember Bloomfield, for which amending motion 22A, Bloomfield Rahman, has been introduced, circulated, and posted on the bulletin board.
All right, let's open the roll on that item, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
All right.
The council may now consider item 4, call special from Councilmember McOsker, for which amending motion 4A has been introduced, which is Padilla for McOsker Hernandez, introduced, circulated, and posted on the bulletin board.
All right, that item, Mr. McOsker, any comments on this item?
Actually, I want to go back to item 22. I thought we were just voting on the amendment, and I would like to discuss the underlying order itself.
All right.
Does the council wish to reconsider this item?
So I'll ask for, if I need, I'll ask for a motion, I'll make a motion for reconsideration of the item.
Is there a second to this motion?
Councilmember Hernandez, seconds. All right, reconsideration is before us. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
Fourteen ayes.
Mr. McOsker.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the intent of the amending motion to ask that moving forward, how would we make sure that should the emergency order expire, that we would be able to utilize existing city properties and be able to pay our bills, because it's going to be critically important, whether we're in an emergency or not, to pay our bills. And there's some question as to whether or not we pay them fast enough anyway. But I think we have reached a point, and I want to have the discussion here, that the emergency itself should expire. We have provisions in the administrative code that says that after the city council, this is G in the ad code 833, after the city council reviews the quarterly reports, et cetera, the city council may find that the need for the emergency no longer exists, or the emergency is no longer beyond the control of the normal services, personnel, equipment, and facilities of the regularly constituted components and departments of the city government. Colleagues, we've been in this for 2.5 years. We have been in this for 2.5 years. The fact that the renewal says that we have not made the right progress is itself an indictment of the emergency and our actions on the emergency. I submit that we need a fuller discussion of the City Council and the Mayor's office working together to address the homelessness crisis, which clearly is a crisis, existential crisis, clearly can be described as an emergency. But after 2.5 years, isn't it an emergency that requires the mayor and the council to work together to resolve these issues? I submit that we call staff forward to talk about the implications of voting no on the emergency today. What effect does that have on the normal governance of the city? And how do we as a council step into the void that we've created for ourselves by continuing on in the emergency to address this homelessness crisis? So I would ask the CLA and/or the city attorney to come forward to answer or to describe a couple of the budget memos that we put in asking what would be different should the emergency expire. Are they prepared to do that today? We just heard this item a couple minutes ago.
Good morning, John Wickham with the Office of the Chief Legislative Analyst. I'm happy to answer your questions.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Wickham. So we have the declaration of the emergency 2.5 years ago. We've had a repeated extension of the emergency. The mayor has properly submitted to us a description of the criteria that's necessary to extend the emergency. It's presented to us because we have the ability to vote yes or vote no, and we have the ability, under my reading of 833, to say no because we think we've reached a point where, or we think we have determined, don't have to reach a point, don't have to talk about criteria, to say that the normal functioning of the city is capable of addressing this crisis. First of all, yes or no on that, on my reading of G and 833, and then secondly, I'll ask you to go over the budget memo that describes what's different if the emergency doesn't continue.
In reviewing that language in the administrative code, I came to the same conclusion, that you could simply end the emergency declaration at any point at your choice, or you could make the finding that the city's work has incorporated this into the normal business practices of the city in response to the emergency, and you could also end it based on that finding as well. I'm not familiar with the details of the budget memos. That was not my role in the budget process. I am sorry about that. There are some elements of the emergency that I believe the amendment that has been introduced would address to facilitate the idea of incorporating the city's work into the normal and customary business, which is some of the work on contracting, some of the work on facilitating interim housing facilities. Some of the budget actions do facilitate building the normal and customary practice, including creation of a bureau that will consolidate the city's homelessness program into a consolidated source. So the council has been taking actions, particularly in this budget, to accomplish exactly that point.
Right, one of which was establishment of a bureau, correct?
Yes, correct.
It strikes me that the biggest concern is that the use of particularly rec and park sites within the city's portfolio would be impacted and require approval by the Rec and Parks Board for its continuance.
Exactly. That is one of the areas of concern.
But would it be impossible for Rec and Parks to convene and approve the continued use of the sites?
I would need to confer with Rec and Parks on the details of that and just make sure I understand how that process of approval would work.
Members, I feel like by rote, we might be going into this extension. And I don't want us to do it by rote. I think it's going to be important for us to pop our heads up and to look at the budget memos and say, what is it that is different under the emergency orders or not having emergency orders? And what advantages do the emergency orders grant us to have the success that we're having, which is limited, but limited. And what would be the advantage of the city council and the mayor working together and saying that we do have city resources and forces that working together we can solve this problem? I will sit and defer to the conversation, but I'm hoping we have a conversation. If nothing else, let's talk about the amendment and why the amendment would be important. But I'm going to be voting no. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. McCosker. Councilmember Rahman.
Thank you so much, Councilmember McCosker. And I thought your comments on this issue during the budget hearings were really important and an important conversation to be having. I will be frank with you that the homeless services sector right now, there are so many pieces that feel in urgent need of fixing, including issues related to data gaps at LAHSA that we have actually made progress on and that this council will hopefully be seeing a report on shortly, that on kind of the lack of a centralized place for performance management in the city, which we have taken a step towards addressing right now that, again, I hope will yield results as we move forward. But this is also an extremely important conversation. And I think it is one that I am eager to have. And so what I would, what I think would be, and also wanted to answer one of the questions that you brought up, which is absolutely Rec and Parks Commission can approve use of sites on Rec and Parks facilities for use as a shelter site, which we do in my district and have done regularly because that was put in place prior to establishment of the state of emergency. I would want to ensure that before we are taking a vote to remove the state of emergency, that we also have parallel to it all the actions we need to take that will ensure that our shelter sites stay open, that our payments can happen at the same time, which is the questions that this amendment addresses, and that we're able to take those two actions simultaneously rather than doing one and potentially having sites or shelter beds at risk as a result of actions. But once again, I want to just underscore how important this conversation is to have, and that coordinated action on behalf of the city, I think, is a really important thing to be doing. And I think this amendment will help us answer some of the questions about the implications of removing it and will allow us to take the actions that we need in order to actually ensure that negative actions don't happen. So thank you, Mr. McCosker, and I appreciate your focus on this issue.
Councilmember Jurado.
Thank you. Thank you to my colleagues, Councilmembers Blumenfeld and Rahman, for putting this forward, and Councilmember McCosker for having this, I think, worthy discussion as we continue to think about where we put our money and look at our outcomes. John, Mr. Wickham, rather, a CD14 constituent, would like to ask you a question real quick about what you mean by if there's a binary of two options, either ending the emergency or it becomes part of the normal course of business. Can you tell me more about what that actually means? For point of clarification, that's all I wanted to ask.
Yes, the ordinance is very clear, has this binary point, as Mr. McCosker read, that you can simply find that there's no longer an emergency, or the emergency is no longer, I'm reading from the administrative code, the emergency is no longer beyond the control of normal services, personnel, equipment, and facilities of the regularly constituted components and departments of the city government. And so the council has been taking regular action this year in particular with regard to the formation of the Bureau, with regard to the data work that has been going on in the Housing and Homeless Committee to really hone in on benchmarks and key performance indicators to monitor outreach, interim housing, placement into permanent housing. And then, the council's work toward building additional permanent resources and solutions to help people who remain on the street. Pulling all of this together leads you to a point of making a determination that this has been incorporated into the normal customary work of the city. And so it's a question of when you are ready to make that determination that you've done that.
Okay. So I'm like trying to figure it out, and it's like, The homelessness emergency declaration that the mayor has, but if city council occupies that space by doing it as normal occurrence, then we don't need that anymore?
Exactly.
Okay, got it, thank you.
And actually, there was one more piece to that program, and that is some of the planning amendments that are coming along to facilitate the creation of homelessness resources.
Councilmember Yaroslavsky.
I think this is a question for the city attorney. So I don't know if, Mr. Grote, you're prepared to answer this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So 22A includes language that would seek to mitigate some of the impacts of ending the emergency declaration, unintended consequences. But it seems predicated on 22, the underlying emergency declaration, being upheld. Because if we vote yes on 22A, and then there's a majority that votes no on 22, then the good stuff that's in 22A, what happens to that?
Sorry, I'm just going through 22A right now.
Yeah, so under add recommendation 4, the first instruction, but I guess all of it. You know, if an amendment to a motion passes, but then the underlying motion goes away, then the mitigating impact of this amendment would not take effect. And so I guess this is a question for the authors and the city attorney.
Sorry. So it was discussing this with the clerk's office, and I don't know that it's a legal consideration. I think it's more parliamentarian, but I read 22A as being dependent on the passage of 22. I think that was the understanding that you had. So in theory, if council wanted to have additional report back separate from the underlying declaration, then that could be done via a separate motion that would be referred to committee or waived out of committee.
Yeah, I raise it because I don't know where votes are on the underlying emergency declaration, but I think that 22A gets at some really important information that we should think about as we're exploring whether or not to terminate the emergency declaration. And if the votes were there today to terminate the emergency declaration, these protections would not take effect, even if a majority voted for it, if the underlying item 22 failed. Does that make sense, colleagues?
It makes sense. I think I'll concur with the city attorney on that for what that's worth. Councilmember McCosker, if you're done, Councilmember.
Thank you very much. I just want to come back to Budget Memo 90. I appreciate that it wasn't your budget memo. And the request, because I was the one that made the request, is if the emergency expires, what are the differences in how we're responding? What are the legal differences? And it looks like there's two in Budget Memo 90. And it's not clear from Budget Memo 90 response whether we're talking about more than just rec and parks. But the rec and park example is that we have 740 interim beds on rec and park property, which is great. I presume it's great for the folks who have it. I don't have that. And that should the state of the emergency expire, then we have to go back to rec and parks and ask them to do their job, which they're perfectly capable of doing, and extend it, or presumably not extend it. That doesn't sound like a very high bar to me. It also sounds like one that the people in the city of Los Angeles by charter said that rec and parks is responsible for their properties. It does affect communities, and so I think that's not an unreasonable request of rec and park should the emergency expire. The second one is a little less clear. It talks about paying our bills. If the emergency were to end, the expenditures from the HEA, which is the account for the viewing public from which these bills are paid, such payments to motel owners and LASA and service providers may be delayed as the council and the mayor would have to approve. So it's asking us to do our jobs and pay our bills. So it sounds like there's two things. How do we use our property? Do we remain committed to homeless response? And do we pay our bills on time? I will also say that I appreciate the intent of 22A. The intent of 22A is to address both of these issues, to ask the CLA to tell us how should the should the emergency expire, how we would continue to use our city properties for interim housing. And I apologize if I misstate, Mr. Blumenfield, your amendment. And then secondly, how do we pay our bills? Well, members, I would say, I will submit that we still have a crisis. We certainly have a crisis of homelessness. And I will also say that in 2.5 years, while we've put a dent into it, not enough of a dent, and continuing the state of the emergency to say that, and I apologize, I'm going to say, to say that we're not going to change anything, I realize we are going to change a lot. But to not change the state of the emergency and not change those two issues, control of our own property and whether or not we are part as a council in paying our bills, is just unreasonable at this point. It makes sense for us to end the emergency. I'm going to be a no vote because I haven't heard a compelling reason why we should continue the state of the emergency, given that we are fully capable as a council and we are fully capable as charter-created departments to continue to use our property for interim housing. And I voted yes on the amendment because it certainly is an improvement, but I'm going to vote no on the overall measure. I'm also going to ask, as I say this, I don't know where the votes come out because this is where it should happen. I'm going to say it probably makes sense for us to get these report backs by separate motion outside of the emergency order as well. And so that's something that if one of you wants to introduce today, great, or we can introduce it tomorrow. It probably makes sense to get it back because, members, 833 means that at any given time, we can end the state of the emergency. It doesn't have to be upon the presentation of an extension of the state. At any given time, we can say, hey, we're ready. We're going to be the city council again. We're going to be the governing body of the city again, and we're ready. We're ready to be a part of this government, and we're ready to, not that we haven't been, but we're ready to be a full member of the homelessness response. So again, I'm going to vote no on the extension of the emergency, although I will say the amendment is narrow, but it is a step in the right direction to get us ready for the future. Should the emergency end today, or should it end in some day after today?
Councilmember Lee.
John, do we have the ability, I mean, Councilmember McCosker is saying that we can end this any time, but currently it's on a 90-day cycle that we renew this, correct?
It's on a 6-month cycle.
A what?
Is it a 6-month cycle? I believe it's a 6-month cycle. Right.
That would be 90 days.
Okay.
Let me confirm that. 90 days, yes. Thereafter, the declaration shall expire unless the council renews it by majority vote every 90 calendar days.
So can we change that to 30 days?
No.
So we can get all the questions back that Councilmember McCosker is asking?
You could amend 22A to instruct the CLA, CAO, City Attorney, Housing Department to respond to these instructions within 30 days. And that way you would have that information before this comes back to you in 90 days.
So if we get back that information, let's say in 29 days, we still have the ability, as been stated, to just end it at any moment. It doesn't matter that we are...
It would still go for if you approve it today, it would go for 90 days no matter what. But at the end of that 90 days, it would expire, or I'm seeing shaking heads. Maybe a city attorney needs to help.
Yeah, that's contradictory information.
Yeah.
Either we can end it at any time or we can't.
If the city council finds that a need for the emergency no longer exists, the council may act to terminate or not renew. So you would have to take an action to not renew it.
Right.
When it came back.
No, or means something here. I'm sorry, Mr. President, may I?
Yeah.
Yes, Mr.
Or,
Lee?
we have to give meaning to the word or. You go to that line, let's see, I'll begin with, if the city council finds that a need for the emergency no longer exists, or the emergency is no longer beyond the control of the normal services personnel, equipment, and facilities of the regularly constituted components and departments of the city government, the city council may act to terminate or not renew the declaration under this section 833. Or not renew means that we're responding to a request for renewal of the declaration.
Yes.
Terminate is disjunctive from that. Terminate means that we can terminate after reviewing a report.
Yes.
A quarterly report. And we can review a quarterly report from 2 years ago or the most recent one.
Yeah, my understanding of that is that since acting today starts the 90-day clock, right? You may act, which would be prior to the end of the 90-day clock, or not renew, which is the end of the 90-day clock.
I am not going to give up the council's power on this one. That is
No,
not how it reads.
Mr. McCosker, this seems pretty clear. It says we can terminate or we can let it expire. Like, I'm not sure what the discussion is. The language is pretty clear.
Well, the implication, I appreciate what you're saying, but the implication of Mr. Wickham's response is that if we agree to a renewal, then we can't act again for another 90 days. And I'm just not buying that.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you would have to
Take
take
an
an
action.
action to.
Great. I'm all for taking actions.
Okay.
Mr. Lee, sorry, you got.
So
stepped
we
on.
can take an action, I appreciate your opinion, but
yes.
So we can take an action, formal action in council, introduce something to end this contract, whether it's in a week or 2 months?
Yes.
Okay, so we have that ability?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Mr. Councilmember Padilla?
You know, I appreciate Mr. McCosker being bold about having a genuine conversation about what exactly this being in place means for how we get things done and how things have been getting done. I know that for myself, every day, especially at this time, I am just, waiting to hear from my service providers about what the current status of how we're dealing with homelessness might change in the next couple of weeks. For my district, in the last, 18 months, so to speak, the cleanups have been consistent. Figuring out how to house people has been consistent. The service providers have been able to show up consistent. It's been steady. That's the way to really call it. It's been steady. But I'm predicting change. I'm predicting change as it relates to how people get paid, the future of what it means for our interim housing and how that works based on the changes we're making here at City Hall, the county stepping out of LAHSA, how LAHSA reshapes itself and how the county shapes itself. There's just so many factors right now that are up in the air. So with that being said, colleagues, I'd like 22A. I think 22A is needed. But I will also say that I think we need the 90 days to kind of keep our things steady. But I can appreciate, and I think we should all stay alert, that we have the option that if in 30 days or in 60 days, we feel more prepared to say it's time for a change, that we make that happen. But I will support another 90 days because there's just so much in the air. But I think in the next couple of weeks, we'll get more clarity related to how our own changes that we decided on during budget and changes with our other governmental partners play out. So I just felt the need to say that. We need a little bit of more time, but I do think we are hitting a point where if we're not getting our answers from the appropriate Homeless and Housing Committee and whatnot, it's great to know that we have some leeway in the next couple of weeks. But I think 90 days will suffice.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Padilla, Councilmember Blumenfield, and then Councilmember Rahman to close.
Okay, I'd like to make a friendly amendment to my amendment, and as the author of my amendment, I accept. And that is to put a 30-day instruction so that the two instructions are not to be answered in 90 days, but the two instructions are to be answered in 30 days.
All right. That's as amendment. Then I got one more, Councilmember Jurado, and then Councilmember.
Thank you, Council President. I want to echo Councilmember Padilla's points about and honor what the 22A is about, because at the end of the day, it's about lives on the line, and if we do something so abrupt in this situation, it's our constituents who are going to be stuck. And that's kind of where we are right now with the loss of divorce, is that it happened so abruptly and rushed that contracts were terminated at like 3 a.m. and we needed to figure things out. And so I think these amendments get us closer to that. And, you know, we obviously made a big choice in our budget. And so as we continue to think critically about this issue, I think the thoughtfulness is important so that lives don't get lost in the shuffle of our reorganization. So I'll be voting yes to 22A and A.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Rahman to close.
Thank you so much, and I would encourage us to take this conversation seriously, and I want to again underscore my gratitude to Councilmember McCosker for bringing this up so eloquently during the budget discussion and bringing it up again today. That is why during our discussion of this issue in our committee, we added these questions to it so that we can take informed action to ensure we are not moving forward with a state of emergency that may not be required anymore in order for us to be able to respond to our homelessness crisis with the care and thoughtfulness that it deserves, as well as the urgency that it deserves, because it is still very much a crisis and requires urgency. So I will be encouraging, I will be voting yes on the amendment and yes on the broader declaration, with the goal of moving us towards getting answers and taking a more informed action on maintaining or removing the state of emergency as needed in a very timely fashion. And I would encourage my colleagues to do the same. But once again, I really want to underscore that these questions are very welcome. I think that we have to move out of a state of emergency response and move into a systemic response to this issue. And part of what having centralized action within the city, establishing it in a place, charging that place with making these kinds of policy decisions and ensuring that we can hold someone accountable if payments are delayed. Right now, we don't have a place to do that. Part of what centralizing our work is actually preparing us to be able to make this part of our course of work and improving our outcomes and holding our city departments accountable for performance management and those outcomes ultimately, as well as the broader homeless services system. So thank you again, and I would encourage you to vote yes on the amendment, but and yes on the broader declaration, with an eye towards moving away from an emergency footing in the future.
Thank you so much, members. This has been a great sort of off-the-cuff impromptu discussion, so thank you, Mr. McCosker, for causing it to happen. I do think it's an important decision to not just rotely approve these extensions without diving into them. I will add to the discussion, and in terms of our look back, when the reports come back and we have to look at this item again, I want to remind folks who are newer to the council or who got here when the emergency order was in place. I sat on this council for 7 years and watched us go backwards every year. Higher point in time counts. No member of the council could say what Councilmember Padilla said about services and cleanups. None of us could say that. We were in a bit of disarray, and so that doesn't mean that we should have an emergency forever. I just want to make sure we keep the things that have gone right as a result of it or since it, and don't let those go out the window in our eagerness to get the entire ship in order. So again, thank you, Mr. McCosker, and thank you to all the members for the discussion. So let's open the roll.
Mr. President, if I can clarify,
yes.
Ask Councilmember Blumenfield to clarify and restate the verbal amendment. Would that be to add 30 days, sir, or to develop recommendations in 30 days for consideration, or would that be an additional recommendation?
It's for both the instructions to do them in 30 days. So it says instruct the chief analyst with the city attorney to develop recommendations within 30 days for consideration, et cetera. Instruct CAO, within 30 days to develop.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So before we go to a vote, Councilmember McCosker?
just a point of order, can we do the amendment first and then vote
Sure.
on the item as amended?
Right, because it's a different amendment now, so we have to take a vote on the amendment, then the item. All right, so let's open the roll on 22A as amended by the maker, all right? And then let's open the roll on 22, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes, 1 no.
All right, thank you so much, everybody. What's next?
Mr. President, the council may now consider item 4, for which amending motion 4A, Padilla for McOsker Hernandez, has been introduced, circulated, and posted on the bulletin board.
May we vote on 4, 4, and 9 at the same time, or do we have to vote separately?
They can be voted at the same time. And for item 9, amending motion 9A, HUD for McOsker Lee has been introduced, circulated, and posted on the bulletin board. Both are to be adopted as amended.
All right. Let's open the roll on 4 and 9, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
All right, what's next?
The council may now consider item 27.
All right. Mr. Clerk, do you have instructions for 27? '27 is a public hearing from our labor partners as required by state law.
Mr. President, please be advised that vote should be taken for item 22 as amended by 22A.
We just took a vote for that.
The vote was taken for amending motion 22A as amended, sir.
We took both votes, but we'll take it again if it makes you feel better. Let's
Thank you,
open
sir.
the roll on item 22 as amended. Close the roll, tabulate the vote. 13-1, just like the last time. Did you change your vote, Mr. McOsker? Yeah, it has you here as a yes.
And for the record, the vote would be 13 ayes and 1 no.
Got it. All right. Thank you. Now we're on item 27. So state law requires us, compels us to hear from our labor partners before the adoption of a budget. We took our preliminary vote on the budget last week, and now we give an opportunity to ask any of our labor partners, from public safety to utilities to general services for the city, to share with us about the outlook regarding our workforce. So I'll call any members. I believe there are folks here from 721, perhaps other locals. SEIU 721, which represents a good amount of our workers, as well as I see an AFSCME t-shirt.
Council President.
Okay. And before we begin, I don't know how many different representative groups we have here today. After discussions, I believe we're going to give 5 minutes for the initial presentation. So I'm going to ask that all unions that are here, or all representatives that are representing the unions that are here, stick to the initial 5-minute period. That will not include any questions if there are any. So go ahead.
Before you start, before we go, are there any other labor representatives in the room who would like to speak other than the two people who are sitting at the table? If not, I don't see any, so we're going to close that, and our reports will be limited to the two individuals at the table.
And just for the record for everyone, letters went out to each of the represented unions to invite their duly appointed representatives to this meeting.
Well, thank you so much. Do I need to? We're good. Council President Harris Dawson and members of the LA City Council, it is an honor and privilege to speak before you today. My name is Charles Leone. I am a regional coordinator with SEIU Local 721 and our incredible LAOC Cities region. I sit at the table leading the coalition's efforts with our ongoing Joint Labor Management Committee on vacancy rates, We have a side letter that's in all the coalition MOUs. And in leading those efforts, the LA Coalition, as you know, represents 25,000 workers in almost every civil service classification in all 40 city departments. Our members share your commitment to providing high-quality public services to all city residents, businesses, visitors, while preserving family wage jobs and investment in our city's economic sustainability. Before I go on any further, the JLMC on vacancy rates has been meeting with the CEO per the side letter in our MOU. We've been there with AFSCME. We've also had our additional coalition partners. And I also have to give a shout out to Jose Barba with the operating engineers, as well as our incredible member leaders, Sandra Dixon and Isaac Alvarez from Building and Safety, and Sandra works in LAWA. We won't review all the vacancy data here. The city's administrative office has provided you with this report. What we will discuss is a pathway forward. The revenue shortfalls and legal liability increases have challenged you to make painful budget decisions that will mean critical staffing cuts and essential service reductions in the coming fiscal year. We acknowledge the important work you did to avoid cuts in 1,000 currently filled civilian positions, but the elimination of vacancies will cause severe cuts to essential services and increased liabilities in the next fiscal year, beginning July the 1st. For some of you, this is the first time experiencing this as an elected leader. For our membership, this is nothing new. The current financial crisis is the next step in the downward spiral of severe understaffing due to budget constraints in previous cycles and chronic underinvestment in the city workforce for, at this point, generations. The decision of previous mayors and councils has contributed to the reduction of essential services to communities most in need and the deterioration of our city's infrastructure and environment. Our coalition is committed to working with the mayor and your city council to invest in innovative workforce development strategies to meet the needs of the city's residents and stakeholders. Our discussion of implementation on Assembly Bill 2561 is an opportunity to review a dialogue between us, labor, and the city to promote innovative strategies to improve and enhance service delivery and to provide career opportunities for our historically underserved communities. This discussion needs to start now, not at some hope-to-be better time in the unforeseeable future. In the wake of the last global physical crisis, 2008-2009, the coalition of LA City unions entered into a service and workforce restoration agreement back in 2015 to meet what were acknowledged at that time to be the growing service demands and needs of investment of the city workforce for the future. It's surprising, and for some perhaps shocking, if you were to look at that agreement today. The city committed to a goal of hiring 5,000 city employees by the end of that fiscal year 2017-2018. It never happened. Today, as I speak before you, we've got private contracted security. You've had chronic vacancies with security officers. You've got private custodial contracts. You've had chronic understaffing with custodians. At one time, up to 600 custodians. Today, you've got 200. It is embarrassing outside this room. LA City Hall, downtown, you've had our SAU members, security, working side by side with private contractors. It's embarrassing. You go down to Temple Street, there are private contractors that want a job with the city of Los Angeles. They're a contractor, a subcontractor, they want to work for the city. We need to eliminate the private contractors, bring all this work in-house. There was a commitment that was made of service restoration. The city never met its end of the bargain years back. Our Labor Management Strategic Workforce Development Task Force was created, though, out of that agreement, and it did lead to the formation of something incredible and historic. That was the Targeted Local Hiring Work Group, which constructed a mechanism to hire over 2,000 civilian civil service workers who are right now contributing every day to the city's economic development and sustainability. We now have an opportunity in this unprecedentedly challenging year and confronting the multiple obstacles at the state and federal level to strengthen and enhance this work. Your decision to eliminate over 1,000 civilian vacancies in the 25-26 budget year inevitably will lead to some threats with the public health, safety, and welfare. This year, eliminating the essential services does create risks that lead to real damages costing millions of dollars in the future liability payouts, the reduction of revenue due to the inability to recover costs because no one will be there to do these calculations or these collections, The threat of contracting out to privatize work creates a higher actual cost for the city of Los Angeles due to contractor exploitation and other forms of inefficiencies and reduced tax revenue due to higher unemployment and wage theft that private sector employees will inevitably experience. We prefer, the coalition of LA City Unions, we prefer the necessary path of fixing broken pieces and fixing broken promises. I'd like to turn it over to my brother from AFSCME.
All right.
Good morning.
Ask me.
Good morning. My name is Larry Gates. I'm the president of AFSCME 3090, also sitting on the Joint Labor Management Task Force, or a committee for vacancy rates. Our members believe that the mayor and the city council have an obligation to lead us to make decisions that will ensure long-term public health, safety, and welfare. This is the job we were elected to do. This year, the Budget and Finance Committee heard proposals to assess and evaluate all city departments and to consider reorganization and of city functions and operations. These are good ideas that should be explored fully. What's needed is a plan. We propose that someone elected or appointed volunteer or be assigned to draft a proposed procedure to develop such a plan to begin development this year. The Coalition of LA City Unions is committed to working with city leadership and contributing to our members' collective experience and wisdom to such planning processes. We look forward to discussions with you and the community in the coming weeks and months ahead. Let's get the Strategic Workforce Development Task Force to convene per the ongoing Service Restoration LOA. We can combine this with our JLMC vacancy working group. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Seeing no comments from members of the council, I'll thank both of you for the presentation today, and look forward to taking up many of the items you raised in the Personnel Committee, as the Personnel Committee has already done, particularly around recruitment and retention of our workforce. So thank you all. Thank you both so much. Mr. Clerk, any action needed on this item?
Yes, sir. The council should vote on item 27, sir.
All right, Councilmember Rahman. You have a comment? Sure.
I just wanted to thank both of our labor partner representatives for coming and for making that presentation. I also wanted to share just a small piece of feedback. We had a similar presentation on another board on which I serve, and part of the presentation, and this may already be happening in the Personnel Committee, so apologize if I'm speaking out of turn, but there was a commitment on the part of both labor representatives and the agency to collect information that would meaningfully shed light on issues like retention. That included collecting information on the percentage of staff who had been at the agency for a certain period of time, talking about kind of the ability for internal staff to get promoted as opposed to hiring from the outside. And there were a number of other metrics that I thought were very useful to have as part of this conversation, so that progress on retention, progress on hiring from within and promoting from within can be something that this council meaningfully monitors and monitors over time. Because just the vacancy rate number alone, given that we reduce the number of budgeted positions, actually is not a meaningful marker of what our actual vacancy rates are or what our ability to retain, train, and invest in our workforce are. And so I hope that we as a council can work on putting together those metrics and in partnership with our unions, and to share those and come to the table and make sure that we're looking at those over time. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Rahman, for that. I think we're all set with you. I'll just give the floor to our Personnel Committee Chair, Mr. McCosker, if he wants to add anything to this discussion.
Thank you very much again for the presentation, and thank you, Councilmember Rahman. We are looking in personnel at particularly recruitment and retention in certain areas that are at greatest risk. And I will say, in our last meeting, we spent time at the TLH and Bridges program, which are equity programs, which those positions stand to suffer the most in a layoff process that results in the cascade of bumping rights. I will say our most immediate concern, though, and something that we're working closely with labor partners and personnel on, is what we are calling the transfer portal. Councilmember Yaroslavsky and I introduced a motion towards the end of the budget process that got incorporated into the budget process as a mechanism by which we have all of the vacant positions in place, we have all of the potential layoffs in place. When I say potential, because I'll get to the potential part, and that before the processes begin, we have now a modified PCH, the priority critical hiring process is gone, but we've modified that so that general managers will not be filling positions except through the transfer portal, essentially, is creating opportunities for folks who are potentially in the layoff list to be able to transfer into like classifications to hang on to our exceptionally skilled, experienced, loyal workers and keep our services as high as possible. We continue to work on that. We had our first meeting last week, and we're going to be meeting in personnel, special and regular, every week to work through essentially the transfer portal process. And labor is front and center there to make sure that they are, that it is a transparent process that works for the city, for the workers, but most importantly for our residents who require those services that might otherwise be lost.
Thank you so much, Mr. McCosker. Okay, this item is now before us. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
Mr. President, there's a request to send items 15 and 27 forthwith.
Without objection. What's next?
The council may now vote on item 1, called special by Councilmember Price for recusal.
All right, Mr. Price is off the board and out of the room. Let's open the roll on item number 1, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right, Councilmember Yaroslavsky.
Can I ask that we send item 20 forthwith, please?
Without objection, that'll be the order. What's next?
Council has motions for posting and referral.
They are posted and referred. Announcements, members? Any announcements? Seeing none, I'll ask everyone in the chamber to rise for adjourning motions and ask if there are any adjourning motions to my right. Any adjourning motions to my left? All right. This meeting is adjourned. See you all tomorrow.
As fate would have it, LA's new Chinatown was relocated about a half-mile away, and the building of the multi-million-dollar Union Station commenced. During the Depression, President Franklin Roosevelt's Works Progress Administration had begun identifying traffic safety problems and congestion in the now car-centric Los Angeles. The WPA documented the need for a highway system in LA that would allow for the free flow of traffic.
The concept of the freeway was a single piece of road, completely free of challenges, whether they were traffic signs or traffic lights, pedestrian crossings, railroad crossings. There should not be anything to prevent you from being able to drive 15, 20, 25, 30 miles all at once.
The concept turned into reality, and by late 1938, the first segment of the Arroyo Seco Parkway, also known as the Pasadena Freeway, was built, making it the first freeway in the western United States. It was later placed on the U.S. National Register of Historic Places.
It was significant for Los Angeles because people were traveling longer distances than is typical in many American cities. Distances from, for example, Pasadena or Long Beach to downtown. And that meant that higher speed would have great benefits to those commuting over longer distances.
And in 1939, an impressive Los Angeles Union Station opened with a star-studded ceremony, attracting 500,000 people. It was the epitome of sophistication and put LA on the map.
We knew that this was something big for the city. This is rail traffic coming in, and this is first-class passenger rail. And it's a big deal.
The wartime rationing of rubber and oil in the 1940s forced many Angelenos out of their cars and back onto streetcars again. For years, the streetcars had proven to be immensely popular in Los Angeles.
The latest in big town transportation on rail.
Helping to inaugurate one streetcar line.
Get ready for the first trip on your beautiful new streetcar. All aboard?
Shirley, here's the fare.
Thank
Great
you.
pleasure. Here you are, Shirley.
Thank you.
More.
Thank you.
But after the war, Angelenos got back into their cars, and the demise of the LA streetcar began. This is also when the enduring conspiracy theory took hold. The theory is that big automotive corporations bought up streetcars with the intent of forcing the public to buy their gasoline-fueled cars and ride on the buses that they manufactured.
There was clearly a conspiracy because they did join together to purchase the streetcar lines, and they were found guilty.
It started when the U.S. Supreme Court found General Motors, Firestone Tires, Standard Oil, Phillips Petroleum, and Mack Trucks guilty of conspiracy. They were charged with monopolizing the sale of buses, fuel,